Anthony Joshua once beat Sir Mo Farah in a race. Sounds like something out of a dystopian fantasy, right? Where up is down is up, and the world just doesn't make sense anymore. But it did happen. Heavyweight Anthony Joshua accelerated past one of the greatest sprinters of all time, Mo Farah. Today, ahead of his blockbuster championship against Alexander Usyk, we're taking a look back at one of Joshua's many crowning achievements. Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with, when was this? You'd think an instance of a heavyweight fighter accelerating past one of the greatest sprinters of all time would have gained more traction than this. We mean, when was the last time you heard of something like it? The odds are you haven't. Don't beat yourself up over it. Footage from the 2012 British reality series Superstars emerged ahead of Joshua's heavyweight title match against Alexander Usyk, which showed him battling it out against several Great Britain athletes at a shot of becoming the superstar. The British sports program originally premiered in the 1970s, but a special episode aired after the nation's phenomenal performance at the 2012 Olympics. The series followed a group of athletes competing in a decathlon, where an athlete cannot compete in a sport for which they participate in as a profession. Points are added to each competitor per their performance in all 10 sporting events. Joshua emerged as the overall winner, but it was his phenomenal performance in the 100-meter sprint that got social media talking. The boxer fights at the top of his weight class, and you'd think his size would hinder his speed. You couldn't be more wrong. In spite of a slow start with Joshua losing ground to Olympic high jumper Robbie Garabas, he quickly gained his stride and finished in first place. Mo Farah finished third. Moving on, what was the race like? The world got to know of Anthony Joshua shortly after his triumphant win in the 2012 London Olympics. Joshua had a literal knockout performance and he went home with the gold, but it wasn't just him. Several Great Britain athletes all put up stellar performances at the 2012 Olympics, which begged the question, who's the best of them all? It was unsurprisingly Joshua. Now, before we talk about the race, we need to establish a few things. The heavyweight boxer participated in the 2012 episode of Superstars shortly after making weight. In the heaviest class of boxing, Joshua would have weighed around 91 kilos at the time of the race against Mo Farah's 58 to 60 kilos. A little basic physics here, lighter things travel faster. However, Joshua is known for being quick on his feet and fast-paced. This is evidenced by his tremendous legwork he showcases in the ring, but in any event, you'd be betting your money on Mo Farah on a sprint, right? You would have lost money. The 100-meter race started off with Joshua to a good start, but not good enough to outrun Grabars. A little while into the race, however, the heavyweight picked up his stride and leaped towards the finish line with the Olympic high sprinter behind him and Mo Farah trying to catch up. Joshua clocked in at an impressive 11.53 seconds, which would have been placed 7th at the Olympic event. Moreover, should Joshua consider a career shift? We'll save you the trouble. He absolutely should not. Sure, the heavyweight boxer managed to turn the world upside down by beating not one, but two of the greatest sprinters of all time, but that might be also because of the fact that the sprint was only a 100-meter one. For context, while you need to keep up the pace all throughout the track, most sprinters actually, well, sprint towards the end of it. This comes down to an energy reserve and consumption. Think about it. You'd be pretty fast too if you'd run for the one room to the next, but you'd slow down if you had to run around your entire house. We're not trying to take anything away from Joshua's incredible win, but the fact remains that there had been another 9,900 meters added to the race. Joshua wouldn't have stood a chance. Likewise, Mo Farah would have been knocked out in a heartbeat if he were up against the heavyweight fighter with an impressive 24-2 record and a knockout to win percentage of 91.67. Have athletes ever changed their sports? Interestingly enough, they have. The most famous example that comes to mind is none other than Usain Bolt, who ditched cricket for a career on the tracks. Up next, whatever happened against Alexander Usyk? We started off this video by mentioning that the Superstars footage resurfaced ahead of Joshua's match against Usyk. It wouldn't be fair to leave you hanging. The perfect storm, as the fight was labeled, was a scheduled boxing match between defending champion Anthony Joshua and the former undisputed cruiserweight champion Alexander Usyk. The match, while phenomenal, wasn't actually supposed to take place shortly after defeating Kubrat Pulev. Joshua was asked about a match against Tyson Fury. The heavyweight's enthusiasm, coupled with how eager fans were, meant that a fight between the two would be inevitable. However, neither team could reach an agreement, and instead a match was scheduled between Joshua and Usyk. To some, the match was just a way to appease fans. Boy, were they wrong. The Ukrainian won the match with an upset and unanimous decision by the judges. The footage from Superstars was released released shortly ahead of Joshua's post-title career rematch against Usyk. The former heavyweight champion activated a one-sided career rematch clause in their agreement, and another fight, a bigger and better one, was scheduled. The footage from Superstars was released to hype the match and to show the world that Anthony Joshua was an all-arounder. Unfortunately, in spite of his improved performance, the second time around, Joshua lost to Usyk after a split-judge decision meant that the Britisher was going home without his titles for the second time. In other related news, first up, will there ever be a Joshua vs. Fury match? George Warren, Tyson Fury's UK promoter, recently stated that he was crossing his fingers for good news for British fans. The news he's referring to is a match between the unbeaten Fury and the two-time world champion Joshua. Previously, the two teams couldn't reach an agreement, and a match at the Hotspur Stadium was instead scheduled for between Joshua and Usyk. And we know how that one went. Now, promoters are working on an all-British heavyweight match between two of the greatest men to have ever set foot in the octagon. But time is of the essence if it is to be finalized for the rivals heavyweight to box in December. Warren revealed, "We're still talking, everything at the moment is very amicable, we're having fresh conversations this week. We're hoping that we're going to move forward, we're all working hard to make it happen. While a deadline hasn't been set between the two parties, realistically speaking, they need to reach an agreement soon if a fight of this magnitude has to be set in December. The fans are gunning for it to be scheduled around December 4th, the same date their previous proposed match was scheduled to be." Warren also claimed that Tyson will be fighting at the end of the year, but didn't specifically say it'd be against Joshua. Next, is Mo Farah up for an award? Maya Jama and Sir Mo Farah are shortlisted for the prestigious going at European Diversity Awards for advocating and promoting inclusion. The 28-year-old presenter and the 39-year-old athlete have been shortlisted for the Media Diversity Championship of the Year award. Mo Farah's nomination comes shortly after his documentary, The Real Mo Farah, was released, wherein the athlete reveals he had been trafficked into Great Britain and promises to work against human trafficking in any way he can. Hussein Abdi Kahin, or Mo Farah as we know him, came to England on the pretense of better education, but instead spent his formative years in the domestic servitude. Mo Farah was one of the lucky ones who managed to find a way out, but he claims that not many of his contemporaries were as lucky. According to the athlete, human trafficking for domestic servitude is rampant in Great Britain. The pair are up against Lioness Beth Mead, who is nominated for her work promoting women in football, and Jake Daniels, the UK's first male professional footballer to come out publicly as gay since Justin Fashanu in 1990. Finishing up with the drama between Amir Khan and Anthony Joshua, there was trouble in paradise between lightweight boxer Amir Khan and his entrepreneur wife Faryal Makhdoom back in 2017. The pair were separated on their way to getting divorced, but not without causing a media storm. In the summer of 2017, Khan accused Joshua of sleeping with his wife in a series of now deleted tweets. Joshua denied the allegations, and the two exchanged bitter words on the social media platform. Now, 5 years after the event, Khan revealed that he was embarrassed by the whole fiasco. As it turns out, Joshua was telling the truth. Khan saw a message from the heavyweight that said, "Hi," and assumed the worst. Makhdoom and Khan are still married and recently celebrated their 9th wedding anniversary. But the lightweight boxer says he and Joshua haven't spoken since 2017. He revealed that he was sad that he lost a friend. That's all for today's video, my friends. Let us know if you think Joshua should consider changing his career in the comments down below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. Until then, thanks for watching.